Let's get started. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our ITS, Inspirational Transformational Session. My name is Eric Depp. I am French. I live in Malaysia, and I am an Herbalife distributor for the past 30 years. I live in over 15 countries in the world, and I have been a pioneer of this with this company in over 13 countries with the Herbalife business. My objective of this conversation, I call it this conversation, is based on my own experience as an independent entrepreneur and as a human being. And my purpose is to inspire you, maybe to make some changes step by step into your living in order to, what I would say, to become the best version of yourself every day. All right. And that's why I created this, what we call ITS. Now, why did I started it to do it on Monday? Well, there is a day to start. Monday is the start of the week. So there's no better day to start that. All right. Now, why I did this started on the morning? Now, to me, there's no better time, morning time. This is the start of the day. And when you start good your day with a good spirit, with positive energy, you have a good chance that the whole day is going to be just fantastic. So that's why I want everybody to have a fantastic day. Now, why did I call it inspirational and not motivational? Now, to my opinion, there is a huge difference between inspiration and motivation. All right. Motivation is something that comes from me, basically to motivate you, to pump you, to push you. So it's up to my ability to persuade you into my speaking, on motivating you. And maybe you might act upon what you hear. But the day I'm not here with you anymore, what happened to your own motivation? So I call it motivation, an external force that comes from somebody, something else than yourself, versus inspiration. Now, inspiration is, to my opinion, completely different. All right. It's something that basically you are the main actor. It all depends on you. All right. What I do is sharing some advice that, according to what you hear of my experience and according to your own situation, when it makes sense, you may apply it or not. But it's up to you. You are the player. It inspires you, you put it in action. Me behind you or not, doesn't matter. You do it. And I call this internal force that comes basically from you. Now, please understand that what I will share with you come from my own experience. You don't have to believe it because it's all only my experience, all right? But you can be sure it's the truth. What I will share with you is exactly the truth. And maybe in the future, you may see some events or some action or something that relate to what we have talked about today, and that will help you to act upon what happened in the next future for you. Now, my goal of this session is very simple. An episode, again, is to give you my opinion, to share my experience, and inspire you in order to be ready when to face some situation of life, to be ready to act, to be ready to maybe live with abundance and energy, to be ready to make and have a productive day, to be ready to have a productive week, months, and maybe why not year, to become more effective and really transform your mindset into a powerful machine which can eventually tune or turn yourself into happiness, greatness, action, kindness, and a reality of every single day. So let's get started. Today is quite interesting because we're going to talk about a subject that I feel is important. And I'm going to today again give you really my own opinion about the fact. Now, question marks for you. How many of you believe that education is the answer in life? Now, how many of you know that some smart people that did better in life than some educated one? In the next 20 minutes, I'll give you some of my opinion about education and about being smart, or should I say street smart. After these 20 minutes, I would think that you will know my opinion and I'll immediately where you stand and why. So let's discuss with you now the educated versus the smart one. The educated versus the smart one. Now, in order to start these 20 minutes, I really want to go through first the definition of the terms. So please listen carefully. What are and what is the definition of these two terms? Educated, smart, but I went one more step, which is to understand the definition of that called intelligent. All right? Now, educated. And I'm just going to quote. I'm going to read something that I wrote down from the dictionary, okay? If you are educated, you've been to school or college, or otherwise been instructed or trained. Using long, fancy words will either make people think you are educated or that you are show off. Educated comes from educate, which is a Latin root, which means educating. Education is a process of facilitating learning or the acquisition of knowledge, skills, value, belief, and habits. Formal education is commonly divided formally into such stages as preschool, kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, and then college, university, and apprenticeship. So that is what means educated. Basically, if we understand, going to school, getting a degree, all right? Smart. What is the definition of smart? On a literal level, the dictionary defines smart as having or showing a quick-witted intelligence. And intelligence is defined as the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skill. Smart can be described as a student that has a correct answer, but intelligent can be described as a student that solved the problem or tried to answer the question from a different perspective or by using other resources. Now, that if you understand, its intelligence is defined as the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skill. Apply, which we did not see that in educated. Now, intelligence, the word, has been defined in many ways. Higher level abilities, such as reasoning, mental representation, problem solving, decision making. The ability to learn, emotional knowledge, creativity, and adaptation to meet the demand of the environment effectively. That's intelligent. Now, if you have understood that, you will see that these three categories are very different. You can be educated, going to school, but you can't solve the problem. You don't have any creativity. You don't meet the demand of the environment effectively. Now, smart is ability to acquire and apply knowledge. It's a witted intelligence. So, the first thing I want you to do today in this session and this episode for everybody is to understand that yes, you can be educated and unfortunately, no job, no money. You can be educated and still cleaning the floor at any shops or any hotel or doing some jobs that have nothing to do with your education. So, my first point is what I want to share with you is today, and again, this is my opinion, all right? But I want you to relate to maybe some other people around. And why education is so important today and why is not. Now, to me, education is important if you want to apply for a job. Now, if you want to apply for a job, any job, they're going to ask you what kind of education do you have? Every time, everywhere. As a matter of fact, they're not only going to ask you what kind of education you have, but where did you get your education from? What university did you go? What rank is that university? Because in a job, they will first interview people, and according to if they like you or not, by the way, they will pay you not according to who you are. They will pay you according to the rank of the degree that you have in the university ranking in the world. If you are from that high university, that means that you are kind of more educated, then you deserve more money. Now, if you are with the same level of degree, but that university, which is ranking less for whatever the reason are, then you will be paid less. This is what we are seeing every day. So if you have children and they want to go into the employment field as a job, do they need education? Yes. Now, why would they need not? Why would they need not? I hope everybody can hear me. Let me check. Why would they need not education? In case they want to be street smart, meaning so they want to be entrepreneur. Now, do you need a degree to be an entrepreneur? No, it's not important because the only person that is going to hire you or fire you is you. Nobody else. Who is going to pay you is you, more or less. Uh, compared to what? Compared to what you do or not do. That is being an entrepreneur. That's why here, degree or no degree doesn't really matter. You can be very intelligent with no degree. Remember, intelligent is a problem solving. It's decision making. It's mental representation. It's creativity, nothing to do with education. But a lot of people around the world believe that education is the answer. It appears today, it might not be for everybody. Or is it education equal fantastic lifestyle or better life? Not quite sure. So why education is important, we understand. Why education is not important, we understand. Now, what kind of education do you need? That's my second. Now, if you look for education, well, you follow what the society gives, which is school and university. But if you follow what the society give, it means that you will be under what we call salary. You will be under the fact of your income will only be based on who you are, not what you are worth. Make sure that you understand that. It will be based on your education if you follow what the society tells you. Society tells you, okay, when you are 6 years old, you go to school, okay? Before you go to kindergarten, 2 years old, 3 years old, you learn a few things. And then when you get 6 years old, you have to learn to memorize. They don't ask you to be creative. They don't ask you to be problem solver. They ask you memorizing. They ask you, don't ask too many questions, just hear as the answers. That is what the education is today. Now, compare of your own education. What can you learn from your own education? Many more things. You can learn about creativity. You can learn about problem solving. You can learn, of course, you're going to make mistake. But by doing mistake, what is happening? You're getting experience. In school, society, when you make mistake, they bang you on the hand. Why? Because you're not supposed to do mistake. It's not good. In business, in street smart, making mistake means you are one step further of your achievement. You have done one step further to get your success, because mistakes equal experience equal better decision. So your own education is very important. Now, if we look at history and we look the past and today, in the past, some people wanted to go to school, but they could not because of maybe the war, maybe because of money, maybe because of, in Europe at 14 years old, you were supposed to work because it brings money at home to the family. So in the past, who could go to school was kind of elite. And these people, as a matter of fact, became the elite because they were able to go to school because the parents were able to pay for that. All right? That's elite. That is the past. Now, in the past, if you were not going to school, that was a very bad sign. That means you are not intelligent. That means, look, in the school of USA today, if you have some issue at school, they say, oh, you have mental disorder, and therefore we give you some medicine for that. Are you crazy? Because you're not following school as other kids, you have mental disorder, you cannot learn as fast as other. That means that you're not able to succeed. Are you nuts? But this is what is happening in many society. So in the past, that was obviously the only way to do is you need to go to school, you need to go to your degree, and you need to go and work for a company all your life until you're retired and die. Now, today, that vision changed. Why? Because today, some people, even with no school degree, happen that being very successful. Some people had the creativity from the intelligence and the smart, straight smart. Some people created things and became, in one day, kind of talking, filthy rich. Why? Because they got an idea that they developed, nothing to do with the school. Nothing to. So the present moment, we have a gentleman. Uh, he had dyslexia when he was young. How many do we know that have dyslexia and then became extremely famous? One of the guy was in France called Guy de Graine. This guy was dyslexia. They could not. He was the last one at the school, and he created this brand and became in the dishes. He created the dishes, the painting beyond the dishes, the faience, and this became very wealthy with ideas. Let's talk about promoters or people that Liz Brown had the same issue. It was with a mental disorder. It was retarded. They call it retarded at that time, as he said. It was he had a twin brother, but he was the retarded one. Today, he is mentoring millions of people in the world. He was retarded. From the society point of view, he was like trash. You're retarded. Oh, we put you there. But he had something that is his own vision, his own way of doing. That's what helps it. So today, at the present moment, education start to be questioning by many people. Should my children follow the right? What is the right education, by the way? Today, what is the right education? Is it the right education to memorize everything? Not quite sure. Is it the right education to say, hey, you make mistake, you go to the corner with a donkey bonnet and you stay there in the corner? I don't know. Now let's talk about the future. How about the future? What will be the education that children needs to have for the future? I was listening one of the politician, which is very seldom, but this guy said something very interesting for one time. He mentioned that in the next 10 to 20 years or 30 years, some jobs will be created that does not exist today. There will be more job paying much more money in some area like wind, like electricity, like new technology than what is today about petrol or something else. So what kind of education people needs today compared to in the future? Look at today compared to the past. How many of us would have thought some young kids with no background making millions of dollars with the social media, YouTube? They make millions by doing some, sorry, silly videos for kids or for whatever, and they get paid millions because some people watch it. Now, some of them, they have no education, but they found that the way of video, the way of expressing their opinion through videos open to everybody make them millions. So What are we looking for? Are we looking for recognition in a society with a title, or are we looking for having a good life? I don't know. But the future in terms of education is very uh, questionable. So my stake of this is education is very important if you want to be an employee. You need to have a degree, because if you have no degree, you cannot be an employee. You cannot be a successful employee. I'm sorry, meaning so going up and up and up and up. Cannot. Why? Because at one point they will say, okay, what is your degree? Oh, I have no degree. Well, if you have no degree, you can't climb the ladder because somebody else has a degree. Not because you are not worth it, but somebody else has the degree. Now, in a society today, even your degree, some people are more experienced than you, and they take your job because of your experience, because of their experience. Therefore, you ask yourself, why my degree? How many times we see today some smart boys or girls having a great degree, like in, I don't know, a degree in any degree, and their first job has nothing to do with their degree. Why? Because they need to make some money. Why? Because maybe their field is not easy to get a job now. Now, try to get a job now in the current situation. It's even worse. Degree or no degree. It's even worse. Right now, it's a time where majority of people try to have their employee to work from home. Why? Because of the pandemic. Now, could you from home be smart and develop your own business? That could be an idea. Now, for some people, it's not an idea anymore. This is reality. This is what they need to do to put bread and milk on the table, meaning so they need to make some income. So my stake is, if you want to be an employee, you need a dedication. Now, if you don't want to be an employee, but you want to be an entrepreneur, will education help you to be an entrepreneur? My opinion, I don't believe it. What will help you is to be smart and intelligent. Remember, intelligent, problem solving, decision making, mental representation, creativity, meet the demand of the environment effectively, smart, wicked, it's a quick witted intelligence, skills, applying skills. So you see, if you want to be self-employed, the best way is your own education, is your own experience. Degree or no degree might or might not help you. I have a degree. I have, as a matter of fact, 3 degrees. Counting, import-export, management marketing. And you know what? I have been an entrepreneur since day one. I left school after my degree. Did my degree help me in my business today? No. What helped me is the experience that I got day after day after day after day. That's what helps me every day. The experience and putting in action. So I would say, what is the difference between street smart and the 9 to 5 job? Street smart and 9 to 5 job. The 9 to 5 job is going to the 9 o'clock to the work, coming back at home at 5 p.m. 9 to 5. Now, to me, is it really how to live life? Not quite sure. I'm not sure. Majority of people today commute to go to work at least a 30 minutes in the morning, a 30 minutes in the night. That's 1 hour a day, 7 hours a week, 6 hours a week, 24 hours a month. Is one day in a month which is taken only to go to work and come back home. If it's half an hour, if it's more, imagine you are losing one day a month by being in the traffic. Can you imagine that? One day a month. 12 months, 12 days. 1 year, you have lost 12 days. Imagine 10 years. You have lost 120 days, 4 months of your life in the traffic. Now we're talking about half an hour. I have some friends of mine, it's 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the nighttime. So every 10 years, they have spent 8 months in the traffic, almost a year. Can you imagine that? How crazy it is? So, street smart, you have no rooftop in terms of limitation of your income. Salary, you have a limitation. As a matter of fact, the salary is made by the company to you, not by you to you. And therefore, you have to work your bum, your butt for somebody else, not for you. And many times, when retirement age comes, they give you a very nice statue. You know, the kind of a statue, you say, remember me, and a good handshake. That's after 30 or 40 years of good job. And you wonder, maybe at that time, did my education help me there to get what? So my stake of today is this. Whatever you do, make sure that you love what you do. Make sure you love what you do. Make sure when you wake up in the morning, you are happy. Make sure if you have education and you wake up to go to the job, make sure that when you wake up, you're happy to go to your job. Make sure you're happy to go to see your colleagues. Make sure you're happy to get the bus or the car and be in the traffic. Make sure you're happy. Because if you're not, you need to change. That's why I created this ITS, Inspirational Transformational Session. Because change does not happen quickly for some people. It takes time. Because usually people don't want to change. Nobody want to change. Why? Because they're afraid of change. They're afraid to take what we call the leap of faith. You know, the leap of faith it means that you are jumping into the unknown. Majority of people get afraid of that. So I'm here to tell you that it's really up to you. To me, education plus employee plus job equals surviving. Entrepreneurship, creativity, ideas, experience equal life living. Now, it doesn't mean that because you have no money, you're not living your life. Nothing to do with that. I know some people with no money living like crazy their life. And I know also some people with a lot of money not living at all. So it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of doing what you love. Doing in a way that every day you're happy. Every day you say, that was a productive day. That was an effective day. And happy to have done what I've done. And make no mistake, learning at the end of the day is the most important. So all day long, practice, work on your thinking to be who you want to be. And in no time, you will improve the quality of your day. So start now. You can start in full and positive spirit. You can now become more smart. You can now become also educated by just going left and right, reading books. This is where you can become not educated, intelligent. Very different. So now let me ask you, what if what you have heard today, you could start every day to put it in practice? Do you think that it would enhance your life to be more successful? Of course. I challenge you this week to put in practice, to think of these suggestions that I just gave you. Create your own way to apply it every day. And I can guarantee that at the end of this week, you're going to be a different person. Remember, of course, we're all human. We're not tree. We can improve. We can even sometimes change when we are ready. The question is, are you ready now to make some changes? So let's start to implement. Let's start to live a life full of health and full of wealth. And I will see you guys next week into my next episode of what I call an inspirational transformation session. My name is Eric Deb. I am here for you. And thank you very much to listen my episode again, which was about education versus street smart. And that's again my own opinion for all of you with my experience. Thank you very much. I will see you next week. Again, my name is Eric Depp, and have a great, great day. Bye bye, everybody.